aika huivit ylös nostaa. SJK! Ei me luovuteta koskaan. Ei koskaan. SJK! Jos et tajunnut tosta, niin se Seinäjoen jalkapallokerho. SJK! Ja muita joo, eikä tuu, se on meidän kerho.
Moi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Jules, and this is the Seinäjoki Football Supporters Podcast, bringing you news, reviews and interviews from SJK Seinäjoki.
Yeah, but we're doing it in English for an international fan base. So, Jules, you've been practicing a little. Tell us, who's joining us for this episode?
Yeah, well, yes, we have a guest this week.
Yes, well done.
So the first bit's easy. SJK's first team assistant coach and performance analyst, Martim Perestrelo, is with us. That's
Hi, Martin.
Italian.
Hi, Martin.
Sorry.
Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Julian. Thanks for inviting me for the podcast. And I'll correct Julian. It's Perestrelo.
Perestrelo.
Yeah.
Perestrelo.
We had a little practice before we went on, and Julian used to have a Portuguese friend, so he had a little bit better pronunciation in rehearsals. Maybe not so much when we went live. He got a bit nervous.
I can just say to my friend Martin, if he's listening, that I could teach him the rude word. I just ran the rude word that he taught me past Martim, and I was just about to say it because I got the pronunciation wrong, but it's a very rude word in Portuguese.
And you it worked, didn't it, Jules?
Yes, it did. Yep.
So listener, we're gonna have a chat with Martim first of all, then look through some news from the club in the last week or two, and then look back at the last couple of games, and then forward at the Mestaruussarja that's coming. So this will keep us busy for a little while.
Yeah.
And by the time we're finished, the sauna will be hot and I'll be heading in there. So, Martin, let's come back to you. Thanks for joining us today. Before we started, Julian was just checking your age. You're a young man compared to us.
Actually, he's half my age.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. That's what I was thinking. So you're 27. You're originally from Portugal, and you've been living.
Where in Portugal, Martin?
In Lisbon.
Okay.
My hometown is called Sintra, but it's like 20 minutes, 25 from the Lisbon city center.
Our friend Paul has just come back from a weekend in Lisbon. Literally, you probably passed each other in the air. You just came back as you flew out. And tell us a little bit. You've been with SJK for the last 1.5 years, but you've been coaching obviously many years before that, working your way up through different age groups in Portugal. So tell us a little bit about your coaching career.
Well, I started like in 2017 or 18. I can't remember the exact year I started. I started coaching the young kids when I was studying in the university at the same time. And then in the club, I was coaching in Portugal. Every single year, I was like coaching different teams in different group ages. And then I reached like the first team after like 5 or 6 years after coaching all the teams and group ages here in Portugal. And it was like the 3rd division in Portugal. So it's like a good level. And the next year, we got like the best midfield in the league, but then we got relegated to like the 4th division. And then they switch all the staff members. And then the next year, I worked for 2 or 3 months in another club. In the 3rd division in Portugal, and it was so good because the club is like 5 minutes from my place, so
nice.
It's so easy to go to that club. And then because the results weren't that good, they decided to switch the head coach, and the new head coach wanted to bring in his staff. So everyone who was working there were invited to leave the club, and then it was a good timing because I was finishing my masters and I needed time to end until the end of December. And in that December, I finished my masters. I presented my thesis and everything. So it was like a good timing to be fired. And then I was applying for different clubs and like different countries because I like to travel. I like new adventures, but and I wanted to experience new things in my life. And I was sending like my CV to different places, and I checked an opportunity and SAICO, and I asked CV, oh, how many persons apply for the job? And almost like 1,000. And in
Ooh.
the 1,000 person apply for the job, and then they did like an interview with some tasks uh, to like a group of 10 people, I think. And I was the one who got selected. So I was a little bit lucky because between like 1,000 people, probably there are people with better CV than my CV. So I was thinking, oh, it's like a new life for me. I will live like in a different country. Before, I never expect to visit Finland because I live like Portugal is such a nice country during winter, during summer, all time of the year. So I was grateful to live here, and it was like a new life for me, and it's been like a really nice experience since I arrived in Senioki. I know the exact day, 6th of March 2024. It changed my life like
Y-
until now.
And did Stevie or Richie tell you what it was about you that made them choose you over the other 999?
I think City got like a little bit of the same personality I got. We are like happy person. We like to have good moments and things like that. And Stevie is always saying, "Oh, his work is not great. He's only like a good guy." And he got like a little bit of personality and environment next to him. So his personality uh, was the big thing to get the job. His work is okay, so his personality was the main factor.
And I guess also like you and Stevie both started coaching quite young and didn't play professionally.
Yeah,
So
so,
maybe he saw some sort of similarities there as well.
and can we
Yeah, I
go into
think
that as well? Like, why did you start coaching so young? You're only 27. Is it what drove you into that?
being professional football player in Portugal is so difficult. And when I reached like the seniors team, I was like playing in the sixth division by that time. I can't remember because I played against like really known players right now in the same division, and they got the same age as me, and they right now they got really good careers, and I needed to stop playing because I didn't receive those opportunities. I remember I used to be a center back,
Okay.
and I played against Beto, a
Uh-huh.
striker
Okay.
who's
Wow.
playing in Premier League. We
Yeah,
are
yeah.
from
Yeah,
the
for
same group.
Everton, yeah.
Yeah, we played against each other, and the other player was
And he didn't
Jouni.
score against you, eh? You kept him in his he was in your pocket the whole game. He didn't get a kick.
Imagine he was like a tall guy but so skinny. When we got a physical duel, I won every single duel against him.
Okay.
Right.
But he's like so fast. When he got big spaces to run, he was really good during that time. And then he moved to a team in like the third division in Portugal, and then he moved to Portimonense under 23, and then he made his career.
Mm.
And the other was Mateus Nunes.
Oh,
Mateus
wow.
Nunes, yeah, Mateus Nunes was really good. Even during that time, he got like a lot of experience in trials in I can remember Leicester City when they won the Premier League. He went to Lille in France, so he got really nice trials, but the clubs didn't sign him, and he returned to his hometown to play an extra season with that club, and after that he went to Estoril under 23 and he made his career. After
So
1 year or 1 year and a half, he moved from like fifth or sixth division in Portugal to playing Sporting
wow.
first team. So it was like a really big step, but he deserved. He
So
deserves.
in the beginning of this season, when all of our defence was wiped out by injury, how close were you to stepping in and helping out? Because we probably were getting down to the last few defenders.
Okay, we are comparing me against like the best defenders in the league.
Yeah, no, that's
Imagine
true. Yeah, that's true.
If I need to enter like one training session, I think I can handle the situation. But the good thing was when I used to play, I was really fast. I was faster than the wingers and like the fullbacks. And I play with my strong foot is like my left foot. So it's like a good thing for a center back to have like a left foot and play to the left side.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Can you tell us more? What does a video analyst actually do? What do you do?
Do you want the honest answer or like a simple answer?
honest answer.
Well, I wanted to start with the other answer.
Okay.
What
Go on,
the
start with
video
that one then.
analyst does is videos. That's what they do.
And
they analyze the video. No, but imagine what I'm doing right now is like I do the opposition analysis,
Right.
every single moment and set pieces moment, and I present to all the staff so everyone knows what we are going to face. I do our set pieces with Tony also. Stevie like give the task for us, so all the set pieces is me analyzing and discussing with Tony, and then we manage what are the best we can do every single match. And I do like individual performance of our players. Last
Okay.
year, I was doing also the opposition individual analysis, but I was resting 2 or 3 hours per day. So,
Yeah.
Stevie, please, I need to have some rest. So, I'm not doing that. Only if some players ask, "Oh, I'm going." Imagine the right winger, "Oh, I'm going to play against this left back. Can I see like some moments of that player and his actions?" And I show to the players, but almost every single player knows the other players already. Imagine we played against KuPS. They signed like a new striker. So probably the center backs want to know a little bit of him. I can show like some videos of that striker, but we already know how Pananen or
Okay.
Cisse plays, so we don't need to check it again.
How
And
many
we play
games?
against every single team like 4 times or
Yeah.
5 times per season. So the players know each other already.
Yeah. How many games back do you go when you okay? So the next game we've got is Hoyiko. How many games back will you go? 3, 4 games back, or the start of the season? How far do you go back?
It depends. Imagine if the last 3 or 4 games Oiko played, it was against the bottom 6. How can we relate those teams with
Okay.
us?
Yep.
So sometimes I need to watch even more games to see like when Oiko played away games because we're going to play in SAI in Seinäjoki. So
Yeah.
we need to check how they play in away games and things like that. So sometimes it can be like 2 or 3 games. Sometimes it can be more. I
Okay.
remember when we played against Klaksvik for the UEFA Conference League, I analyzed like 7 or 8 games.
Yeah. I suppose it's different then because they play differently in Europe than they do in their own league.
Yeah, and it's not a team we're playing 4 or 5 times a year, either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at the start of this season, or the start of any season, what sort of targets does the club set, and how have we measured up to them so far?
Since I arrived, I checked like the previous seasons SAICO played in Veikkausliiga and some European games. And so the target needs to be like trying to get into Europe or the European places. But at the same time, we are aiming to develop young players. So sometimes when we get results or good performance to get the results, it's difficult because we need to like promote like some young players. But so sometimes it's difficult to aim for like a performance target. But right now we are trying to fight for the European places. I think being in the top 6 was good because in the start of this year, everyone was talking about, oh, last season and last year was like a lucky shot from SAICO. So it's going to be difficult for them to reach like the top 6 this year. And right now, we did more than all the games last year. We got more points, the goals, the difference of goals, things like that. So we are doing a better job and a better performance this year than last year.
Yeah, and somehow this year it's even more exciting as well.
Yeah.
And you were not here when the previous manager was here, but it got quite hard to watch towards the end of that period. And Stevie came in and promised entertaining football, and that's what you guys are delivering for us.
I like the way Stevie thinks about the game.
Yeah.
It reminds me when we were younger and we play like on the streets. It was like free, no positions.
Yeah.
It was more like about playing instead of we got these tactics and the strategy. We need to follow these rules. We need to follow this strategy. So it's more like about players' creativity and some freedom. And it's like, it's really entertaining to watch. I used to watch some games before Stevie arrived to the first team. And yeah, it's more like about getting the result than like giving the supporters and the people who are watching, because football is like a sport, and what do you expect like from sports is like to entertain people. And I think the way we are playing right now is really like enjoyable.
It's indeed.
What you said about Stevie's style, I was thinking about this the other day because there's a lot of talk about Ruben Amorim at Man United, and he's got his set formation, and he's getting a lot of criticism because people think that's the only way he'll play the game. And it made me think about Stevie, and he's got not a set formation, almost like the opposite. He's got a philosophy about the style of play, and then within that style of play, the formation changes. Obviously the players' positions change constantly, but it's a very interesting like comparison between those two. One's very dogmatic in the formation. The other one is sort of driven by this philosophy, and I feel like it's a philosophy that you could take to any club. You could implement that anywhere else. It's not, obviously the players have to learn how to play it, but it's not just, okay, I need a right wing back that plays like this, and I need a left centre defender that plays like this, because there's that flexibility, and it's exciting to watch, and I don't want it to end.
I think it's a throwback to, not a throwback, but like you can also say like total football, the Dutch total football, that sometimes you will have a midfield player and he'll be playing left back, and then sometimes the left back will be playing right midfield. So everyone has to play every position. So I think that's something in this chaos football as well.
Chaos football. That's great. That's great, isn't it? It's like gone from total football to chaos football.
Well, yeah, but I mean, total football in a way is a kind of organized chaos, isn't it? That you have to you play in the position where you find yourself on the pitch.
Yeah. No, that's true.
What I can tell you about is we know what we are doing. The other teams sometimes they don't know what we are doing. The feedback we receive from some players or staff members is, I told the player to man mark the striker, the center midfielder, but the player who is playing in that position is the left back or the right back. So it's difficult to control the positions and the players if we are always like with some position of freedom. And you were talking about Ruben Amorim, and I can tell you because the club I was supporting in Portugal was supporting, and I was following what Ruben Amorim was doing. And imagine, before Gyökeres was one thing, and when Gyökeres arrived was another thing. I remember before Gyökeres, it was structured, but only the defensive line and the midfielders. The wingers, the number 10 and the striker, or like, it depends the way they were playing, if it was with 3 center backs or 2. They got full freedom to create some offensive situations. But after Gyökeres, we got the reference in the as a striker, so it was a little bit more different. But before Gyökeres was like more like freedom. The wingers can switch the positions. The striker could come and receive more like between the lines, and the wingers will attack. It was like really good dynamics.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing that now with the Man United team at the start of this this season in that there's a lot more movement among their forwards, and they look a bit more exciting going forwards. But they're not Ashiko. Sorry.
Yeah.
No more points. No, that's quite right. Jules,
Yeah, I like that.
Do you want to ask your final question for?
Yeah, my final question
Martim?
is so Martim, you kindly joined us from Portugal, where you are.
Yes, I'm at home right now.
Yeah, and I know that after this you're going to your grandma's house. So I want to know what's she cooking for dinner tonight.
I don't know. I think we'll buy some chicken from a store. The chicken is like the best in the world.
So piri chicken.
Yes. Sometimes you can put piri or sometimes it's only the sauce, but it's really good.
It sounds good. Maybe you can send us a picture later, and we'll see what grandma's got cooking.
Yeah. We'll be over in about 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Nice to get to know you a little bit. We're gonna bring Martim in as we talk through the other topics. I know this is going to go long, this episode, so it's going to be split over 2 podcasts, but it'll be in one video on YouTube. So that's all good. Jules, do you want to do a few shout outs?
Yeah, well, to Jouni, who we spent the day with. So our KuPS fan who lives in Seinäjoki, we had a very nice day with him before and after. And we went to Kabaka, and then he went down his end, we went down our end, and we shouted at each other for 90 minutes, and then we met up in the bar afterwards. So that was a nice afternoon. Yeah,
and Jouni and another friend, I suppose, Farid, who is they both kind of contribute to the Finnish Football Show podcast from time to time, and they also listen to this nonsense. They just can't get enough of football talk in English, even if it's about a club that they don't directly follow. So
know your enemy.
Thank you, chaps. I think they know by now they've come to the wrong place for useful football insights. They just like to hear us messing around, I think. Yep. I saw Farid on Saturday. We went to Helsinki and we met up down there. And he said, "Yeah, I've been watching some SJK games. And what's wrong with Julian's middle finger?"
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed about it. Actually, it was both middle fingers, and I wasn't sure if one was swollen enough. And I was asking the referee for his opinion about what he thought. Did he think that one was more swollen than the other? But I'm not going to do it again. I'm really sorry. Forget about VAR. I don't like this crowd shots.
No, that's quite right. Yeah,
I promise to behave from now on.
You'll be sincere for the next matches.
Yeah.
But I'm always thinking you're the most, the craziest supporter from SJK.
No, that's not true. That's crazier.
But Julian's the most
They just
visible.
pick out the old guy. That's all.
He's at the front, leaning over, and easy to photograph. Yeah. We also, Jules, in the bar after the KuPS game, we met up with Raimo Sarjärvi, the SJK chairman, and normally he just sort of has a little wave and moves on, but he stopped and had a good chat with us on Sunday.
He couldn't find his mates, so he talked to us for a little bit.
Probably that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that made us look even cooler to Jouni, who was stood there with us.
There's not many clubs where the chairman comes up and talks to you after the game. That's a great thing about SJK.
No, that's true. And I got to ask him the question that I've been meaning to talk about for a while, which is,
and that is he considering a new career as a YouTuber? No, sorry, we'll leave that there.
No, we'll leave the YouTube suggestions. They were not going to fly. But I asked him about this gold shirt that I bought at the start of the season, and I really like it, and we haven't worn it once. It's meant to be the away shirt. And
but he said, what did he say?
He said we were going to wear it in the Haka game, but the referee said that gold is too similar to white.
And I would just check my middle fingers for that one.
Don't do that more times. There are kids watching this show.
Yeah, okay.
No, don't worry, Martin. Yeah, nobody's watching this nonsense.
Yeah.
But I'm not upset, but it's becoming a bit of a mystery. I love this shirt. I love the colour. It's a bit different, and not many clubs have got gold as one of their main colours. And we don't wear it, and I don't get it. I think we should.
Maybe we can.
It's also one of my favorites. I really like the color.
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it? We should be wearing it more often.
So let's see if we can wear it just once before the end of the season. I did say to Stevie, I said, look, if we don't wear it, I'm going to ask you to get the whole squad to sign it, and then I'll put it in a frame as the football shirt that never existed. All right, but that's enough. That's enough of that. Shout outs. Jules, what about some news from the club?
Yeah. Well, as you wrote that, Ginston's gain is our loss. So club legend Mehmet Hetamai is joining Ginston as a junior coach.
Yeah.
So just to make sure he's coaching the juniors, he's not the junior.
Yeah.
So far from it. So good luck to him, and I hope his home is still here in Seinäjoki because we like seeing him around. But we know that he's always and forever SJK.
Yeah, Mehmet was obviously the club captain when we won the league 10 years ago, and you don't forget things like that. And also he's one of the and the cup. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and he's one of the few pundits that appear on TV that have got anything positive to say about Asiko. Most of the others are just telling about how great the other clubs are. So we need Mehmet on side, and good luck, Mehu, and hopefully we'll have him back up here one day in the future,
coaching our juniors or seniors or whatever. Yeah. And then another piece of news is that Terry Ekbe has moved from Elfsborg to Metz for 3 million. So we have a percentage. We have a sell-on fee. So Mark, you came up with something interesting. I didn't realize how it worked.
Yeah,
tell us how this works.
Yeah. So this was something I'd heard on the Price of Football podcast just last week, and then we were able to ask Raipe about this on Sunday, and he didn't say what the percentage sell-on we get is, but you get a percentage of the profit of the deal, not the total amount. So we're playing with numbers a bit because we don't know any of these as facts. But for example, if we get 15% of the profit, we sold him for about 500,000. They're selling him for 3 million, so the profit there is 2.5 million, and 15% of that would be 375,000. And that was what I'd heard on the podcast, and that's the principle is what Raipe confirmed. He didn't confirm any numbers, but I'm doing some maths with rumours.
So Martin, you'll be getting paid this month.
Yeah, that's right.
I received already. That's why I'm in Portugal.
Excellent.
You got the money and you're gone.
Yeah, good. Well, enjoy that. And then we had Oscar Rivaisto getting his first Finland call up, Jules.
He's 19 years old and he's been called up to the under 21s, and he's been great this season, I thought. And Lauri Laine is on standby, so if anybody gets injured, then he's in the squad as well.
Yeah, I gave Oskari a little bit of a shout out on the Finnish football show yesterday, and saying that he played a bit at the end of last season as well, but this year when the whole defence was wiped out, he had to try and hold it together. It was a tough month, but I think he's kind of grown into it now. And actually, when you see, I think we've got 4 centre backs there now, and I may be forgetting somebody, so forgive me, but I don't really care which of them plays. I feel quite confident whoever's out there, and that's a really positive position to be in.
And if we were to lose a centre back in the transfer market next year, at the end of this season, then I think Oscar is a shoe-in to be in the starting 11 next season. What do you think, Martin?
I will do like a rewind since the last year first game against Oulu. Oki started on the starting 11, but after that he got injured, and then it was like a long time between that game and when he returned. So it was like a really difficult time for him to recover. But then this year he's like growing up a little bit. That's why he was called for the under 21s team. And I think for centre backs, he got like a really problem in the first 10 games of the season when we didn't have any center back available.
Yeah.
But right now, we got all the solutions, and Oki is a really nice solution. We have Kelvin, we have Sam, we have Ayo, Oki. We also have Josh to play in that position. So for that position, we are really okay. Oki is still like, I think he's 19. I think he's going to turn 20. So we got a really big margin to grow up, and I think he's been doing like really well. Even if he plays as a right back or a center back, I think he can manage the task.
Okay. Yeah, he's very developed for a 19-year-old.
He's another one that's come through Stevie's production line from the academy into the first team, isn't he? All right.
Okay, shall we look at the recent results? We've got 2 games to look at.
Let's hear about your road trip, Jules. Monday, 25th of August.
The great photographs that I took.
Haka 2, Astigor 3. I asked Jules to take a few photos of his trip to share in the WhatsApp group that we have for that kind of accompanies this show.
I'm sorry.
No, it was done in your own style. I mean, it wasn't exactly what I was thinking, but by the end of it, I was just laughing along. It was fun.
It was laughing at me, everyone, not with me, at me, purely at me. Yeah, my photographing skills was. But it's one of my things when I go to the football or anything. I don't really take photographs. I'm there for the experience, and I even look down my nose at Mark, who's always I want to say a rude word, a media.
I'm sharing the scores with our friends and groups. That's all.
Yes, which is very good. It's very good too.
And actually, I'm not filming things constantly, but I do take a few pictures around the day just to kind of share them as a kind of share the vibes. What's been going on at the game? So. Shut up.
Yeah. Okay.
But tell us about your day, apart from the photos.
Well, we had great away support, I think, for a Monday night. I can't remember now. Was it 30 people?
Yeah, something like that.
Down there for a Monday night.
All travelling down in cars
kickoff
as well.
Yeah, so that was good. So really, really good away support, and Haka, they don't have much home support, so it's again Maiden Koti Belly. And the game started great. Then there was a 10th minute goal on the break. Arsala on the edge of our box, he feeds Rasse out wide. Rasse, friend of the show, on the wing, and he turns and feeds Fatih, who cuts it back to a free Kasper, who's in the box about 2 yards from the edge of the box, and he just buries it. Okay, sorry, Kasper, friend of the show. So it was a great start.
Yeah, it was, and it was actually a great performance. If you look at the stats we had, this is the caveat. This is from FOTMob, but not from anything more professional. But it gives us something to go by. We had 68% possession. We had 27 shots, 13 on target, and I've started to notice that we have a lot of shots blocked. And I asked Stevie about this, and he said that's what tends to happen if you're playing against more defensive teams, because they got more bodies in the box. So we're having a lot of shots, we're creating a lot of chances, but it's not easy to get it through the forest of legs that are in there. And I think we've noticed that, and it was even the same again against KuPS, and they're not sitting back and defending kind of team. They were going toe to toe with us. But yeah,
would you agree with that, Martin? Would that be your analysis of it, or?
No, I agree with that. Imagine the games were similar if you talk about shots blocked, because Haka is fighting to avoid the relegation.
Okay.
And KuPS is fighting for the title. So they have ambition on their targets, and Haka is more like defensive, because that's what they rely on. They need to defend better, defend well, trying to not concede, and then from a transition or a set piece to score to avoid the relegation.
Yeah.
KuPS is trying to fight for the title, so they create more than Haka, but defensively, you can see all the team is committed. They put a lot of effort. You can see they can do tackles to avoid shots. They can run through the ball to stop like a shot. So in a certain way, talking about shots block, they are similar because they rely on their targets. That's why against Haka, they block a lot of shots. And against KuPS, they did the same thing. And against KuPS, we could like get like a better result, but those actions were winning actions or not losing actions in that case. But against Haka, it was difficult when they do those things because we create a lot of opportunities. And if they put a lot of effort to block our shots and scoring opportunities, it's more difficult to get the result for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we went in at half time 1-0 up. And a funny thing happened at half time, kind of for me. We're in a WhatsApp group, Jules, with the Finnish Football Show contributors, and there's a Haka fan there. So I complained that the commentator kept calling our right back Yusuf Salim, and it was really annoying us. And I mentioned it in the WhatsApp group, and our Haka fan said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll have a word with the commentator." So I was like, "Yeah, whatever. That's funny, ha." And then in the second half, the commentator was going through the names of the players, and he said, Asikor Salim Yusuf. I've had some feedback from the Asikor fans. So the message got through, and he'll never forget the right name for our right back.
You're a master of puppets, Mark, pulling the strings of influencing people here and there.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, that was funny. And then the game became not funny, Jules, because we had sort of 10 minutes of refereeing madness, really.
Well, yes and no. Okay. The first Haka penalty was for handball against Vargas, and it was handball because the ball was hit his hand and it was shot really hard from 2 yards. So under the rules, that is a hand. It's not the referee's fault for enforcing a stupid rule, and because it was on the outside of the box, it hit his hand from about 2 yards out. He couldn't get his hand out the way. But the thing that gets me about this chance, there was maybe a 10% chance that a goal would have been scored. And the XG for a penalty is 75%. So you take a 10% chance and suddenly it becomes a 75% chance. And it seems it's a silly rule.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I will ask something, Jules, if you allow me to do.
Yeah.
You're against VAR, but probably
absolutely
in that game, you wanted VAR.
No, never.
No?
No, I even, we go on to the second penalty, which was outside the box and it wasn't a trip.
Yeah.
I will still take that than, I will still take bad decisions rather than VAR waiting 5 minutes and then a chance of the decision still being bad.
And we saw that in the Chelsea-Fulham game at the weekend where the VAR...
Then I liked VAR.
Yeah, I know you did. Yeah, we were on different sides there. Yeah. But they've admitted it was a mistake. It was quite clear that it wasn't a foul. I think, if you're honest about it, even as a Chelsea fan, it wasn't a foul. And they took a long time, a lot of chat between them to make the wrong decision. So VAR is clearing up some decisions and then messing up others. I don't think it makes anything any better.
Where does Martim stand on this VAR thing?
He loves videos.
Oh yeah. Are you aspiring a video assistant referee?
No, the problem is the clubs and all the staff members were complaining about referee bad decisions or like picking one side decision.
Yeah.
And then they are complaining now because of VAR. So they were complaining because bad referee decisions, and now they are complaining about VAR. So it's not like good from the clubs and the staff members who wanted VAR. And now they are doing the same thing with VAR. I think if it's used correctly, it's a good tool for the referees. But if it's not used correctly, and I've seen in a lot of different leagues and competitions, they are not using correctly. It's like we are losing time for the game. in every single league, it's like 50% of the games are
Mm.
played. And
Yep.
with VAR, it's even more because we are losing so much time on checking if it's inside the box, outside the box, things like that.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. I agree completely.
I think I'm just trying to remember who's the Burnley manager, ex-Charlton and Chelsea midfielder. Scott Parker, and he said that we are months or a year away from not celebrating when goals go in, and that's my thing. That why I don't want VAR, because I want to know when the ball hits the back of the net, then I can shout. Not that when we've had VAR the one or two times there, we've scored a goal, and I'm like, okay, I can't celebrate
Is it a goal? Yeah.
Yeah, so it takes away, for me, it takes away from a fan's experience. And I think I think wrong decisions are part of the fan's experience as well. It's you don't always agree with them, but maybe it's entertaining to have, like, for example, the second penalty. I can see why the referee gave it, because it was so quick running to the box and he fell over into the box. I can absolutely understand why the referee gave it. And from where I saw it from behind the goal, I couldn't argue with it. It's only when it slowed down. But that gave us great entertainment because we were 2-1 down and we had to come back from that. So I think it's more entertaining without VAR.
And Haka didn't keep their lead for long, Jules.
The 66th minute, Streng's header from Fatty's cross. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely, and then that entertainment just kept going. I mean, after that, like we really got. I think the 2 penalties knocked us out of our stride a bit, and then we got back into the game and really created loads of chances and just couldn't put them away. And then new boy Kevin Jarkko's got to be his nickname. It just works perfectly.
Tell him,
and the ball sort of bounced around a little bit in the box, and he was inside the 6-yard box, buried it, and went absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I mean, there's nothing better than a injury time winner.
No, and you mentioned the expected goals. So from each penalty, it was 0.75 of an expected goal, so 1.5, and Haka ended up the game on 1.87, including the penalty.
Right.
2 and we ended up on 3.97 with no penalties. So you can see the kind of amount and quality of the chances that we got.
Shall we ask our expert's opinion of the game, Martin?
Yeah, why not? He's here.
I think we get like a really great start. We knew what Haka wanted about that game. They were defending, and then they are good in transitions, and they were forcing counterattacks, and we were like defending well. And our first goal started from a counterattack from Haka. We lost the ball, and then Sam did a really good action. We recovered the ball. Marcos passed to Fatih. Fatih passed to Rasmus. Rasmus passed to Fatih, and Fatih cut back for Kasper. So from a counterattack from Haka, what they are really good, we recovered the ball, and we got like 2v1 inside our box, 2 strikers against Sam, and Sam did a really good action. We recovered the ball, counterattack, and we scored the first one. And then we were controlling the game, and we missed like good chances to score the 2-0, and 2-0 before the halftime probably killed the game. Probably.
Yeah.
We never know. And we go to the halftime 1-0, and then in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the game was completely different with like, okay, we entered the second half not on like 100% of our capacity. We were like, oh, it's 1-0, and we were controlling the first half. So probably the players were like, oh, it's going to be like an easy second half again. But no, and then the result was 2-1, and everyone supported each other to solve the game again, trying to score more goals. We create like really good chances. And even the last goal, we were talking about Kevin's action, but we were attacking, and then they forced the counterattack again. And Sam recovered the ball with a really good action.
Yeah.
And we got the ball cross, Casper to Yeri pass to Kevin, and Kevin score a volley in the 2 minutes to end the game. So we knew we got a really bad start in the second half, but then because we create a lot of opportunities and everyone was supporting each other, we believe it was possible to win that game. And we fight until the end. We fought until the end, and we got the result because we deserved that result.
Great spirit. And did you believe when we were 2-1 down, did you believe, no worries, we're going to win this?
Of course, we believe, even if the result is 2-0, we believe until the end. And that's our mentality. But sometimes we are playing against good teams and they know how to defend well. They are organized. So even we can create really good chances. The other side are really good defenders, really good goalkeepers. So sometimes we can create really good chances, but we give some give some merit to the other players on the other side also.
Yeah.
And that was then just a week later, followed up by the game we've referred to already, Jules. Sunday, the 31st of August. SJK won, KuPS won, and you made the comment here that it felt like our Champions Series sort of started one game earlier than everyone else.
We're playing one of the top 6 teams, so it effectively is. And we took if we had taken 3 points off them, then we're taking 3 points off our rival, or a point off our rival that they got.
Yeah, no, that's quite right. It was incredible crowd at this game.
Yeah.
I always thought the attendance, the maximum attendance was just under 6,000, but apparently it's 6,075. That's how many tickets were sold or maybe given away for this game. There was this YouTuber, Robe, there, and that created a huge crowd before the game. Then a lot of those people stayed to watch the game, and then he was doing a meet and greet in the bar afterwards, and that just was chaos up there.
Yeah.
So and
I
actually,
wonder if our podcast will ever be like that, Mark.
We appeared in the bar, and we had about 15 people watching us, including my wife and stepson who had to because I was driving.
Okay.
But no, I was just going to say there was an article on the SJK website today about attendances, about how it's calculated, and the fact that our average attendance is growing year after year. So it doesn't always feel like it, but it's nice to see that actually is the fact.
And just to be clear to anybody who wasn't at the game, it was sold out. So 6,075 tickets. There were at least 1,000 empty seats.
I would say so. Yeah, there was a lot in the away section because they didn't bring too many with them, but there were seats available. But it's this modern day thing of how many tickets were sold rather than how many bums were on seats.
Yeah.
But a little bit about the game from us before Martim can give us some real facts.
Brightly with the 11th minute, and Jere Streng, I suppose, caused a bit of confusion in the KuPS defence, and then took advantage of it and finished well past Cradle. So that was a very good start.
It was a really nice finish. We went quite tight angle by the time he got the shot away, and it went in off the post, which I didn't see clearly from where we were sitting. But when I watched the highlights, it's really satisfying when it goes in off the post.
Yeah.
And we held on to that for almost 15 minutes. They score through Pennanen, who's one of their danger men, and I feel like it was a cross from our left side to the back post, and he scored at the back post, a goal that could have been defended better, and I'm sure that's what the coaches will think as well, because they won't want goals going in from there. But you made the comment here that it was about creating more chances, and I just thought, following on from what I said about the Haka game, we had 21 shots and the KuPS had 14, but 13 of ours were blocked. So it's that same thing we said about before, but we're creating the chances, and they're not shots that are blocked from like 30 meters away. They're all in and around the box, because we know that's where Stevie wants people shooting from. So really positive. Frustrating that they're defending it, but we're there pushing, and we have much less possession than the previous game, but still weird. It was a great game.
Yeah, I think that's a kind of a unanimous decision. Anyone that you spoke to was at the game was saying it's a great game. It could have ended either way. I mean, it was a draw. We could have won. They could have snatched it. It was a great game.
And a lot of positive stories in the press as well. A lot of positive comments in the press about the quality of the game. Martim, let's get your thoughts from the bench.
We knew what KuPS were able to do. We prepared the match really well. And then when we check Bob was playing left back, we were expecting another player to play in that position. But the lineup of KuPS we were expecting from days before the game already, because they were playing against Midtjylland. They were trying to save some key players, and we knew already what they were going to do or trying to do. We prepared the match really well for that game, and we scored the first one with a long ball to Jere. No one was expecting because he was on side. Bob was putting him on side. Everyone was only checking the center backs. Jere is in front of the center backs, but Bob is putting him on side. So the center backs and the KuPS goalkeeper were expecting an offside from the referee. Everyone stopped, but even Jere, he stopped running. And then, I can play this ball, and we scored the game. And then the next minutes we were trying it. It was like 50-50. And then we conceded that goal. It was preventable because we knew Savonlinen is always attacking the back area during open play, during set pieces. He's always one target at the back area. And then because we didn't stop the crossing action from Ture, the center backs were organizing themselves, and Fatih was covering the back area, but he didn't check if Savonlinen was attacking the back area or not. And then the cross is too long. Savonlinen attacks the back area, but Fatih was covering the space. His header was really good because he put the ball between our center midfielders and our center backs, and Panan is such a smart player. He found that gap and he scored the first one. Then we go to the halftime. We were trying to keep the intensity, the good actions we were doing. And for the second half, we were trying to score the second one. And I think the first 20 minutes, we were better than KuPS. We were trying and trying and trying. And we got a lot of opportunities. KuPS cleared the ball above the line. So we could score one or two more goals in 20 minutes. And then in the last minutes, we were trying to defend, to not concede, because KuPS were forcing a little bit more. So that's why Stevie changed and put more defenders. Ayo is really good defending the box. And after that, we were trying to, or avoiding KuPS creations and the attacks they were trying to do. And we did a good job doing those actions also. But if we won that game 2-1, for example, it's not a scandal for what we did in that game.
No. How disappointed do you feel that we didn't win the game?
I can tell you a funny story, because I was so disappointed because we could won that game easily. During the halftime, I was connecting my laptop to show some videos of the first half, and I was picking the cable from the floor, and I hit my mouth on the chair. I opened my mouth. I was bleeding so much. So I was so upset. And after the game, I was even more upset because I knew we could won that game. And we should have won that game, because if you check the other results, I was following the other results, and my God, VPS is winning Inter. Ilves were 1-1 against Mariam. Riku was winning, but all the results are really good for us. And oh my God, probably can win some points and get closer to the other teams. And then they changed their games, and we got 1 point. So we didn't move in relationship with KuPS, but the other teams won other points. But what we want is trying to fight for the European places. If KuPS or Oiko win the cup, it's it's an extra place, so the 4th place can go to Europe. So it's like last year, for example, we can have like an extra place for the European competitions, and that's what we are aiming for the European competitions, or trying to fight for those places.
Fourth might not be enough though. If KuPS or HJK win the cup there and finish fifth.
Yeah, that's true as
That's
well.
a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
But
so
we are going to give our best to get like into the fourth place or the third place, to get like into European competitions.
it's going to be a very, very exciting end to the season with the Champion Series about to start. There's like 10 games coming up.
So do you? We'll come to that in just a moment. I've got one more question, and it's quite a big question, which is how do you view the season so far? But maybe let's just focus it on how have we performed compared to what the targets that were set at the start of the season.
If we didn't like lose a lot of players, because I remember between May and June we lost so many points, but we got like half of the squad available for the games. But if we didn't lose that many points, probably we were like more close to our direct opponents. But if we start comparing this season to the last season, the performance are getting better. I can remember like really nice matches we've been playing this year more than last year. The game I remember the most last year was against Salati 5-5. That's the match I remember last year.
Never unforgettable. That ridiculous.
I can't forget that game. But this year we got really good games. We won against Oiko at home. We never won Oiko in the new stadium. So those matches, even when we beat Ilves in Tampere 3-2, it was like an amazing game. We can remember a lot of games and performance this year more than last year. And if we start comparing data, we are better this year than last year. And I think we are increasing all the things we wanted to increase for this season. Even we are conceding less goals than last season.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier we've scored more, we've won more, we've conceded less. Like these are all important things to. Stevie said it in the press conference the other day. You've said it here now, to just remind people or highlight to people that these are important factors, because they go towards. If we keep building and building in that direction, it goes towards being more and more competitive as well.
And we can. I don't know which place we are right now, but even last year and this year we are top 10 of the youngest teams in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
It's like a really nice target for us.
Yeah.
Because they can see us as like a developed young players team. So
yeah,
it's also good. And to achieve good things like the European matches last year was really good with such a young team. You don't expect like good results and performance with a team who's that young, because with more experienced players, it's like they can control the games during even hard times and things like that. So even KuPS, Pananen is one of the most experienced players in the competition, and when they are struggling to get like a good result, he appears. Last year we lost against KuPS at home with Pananen's goal. So against us and against the good teams, is always there to support the team. So experienced players can change the games when the teams need it. And with such a young team, we are achieving good things, I think.
Yeah, and what we have achieved, Jules, is to qualify for the Mestaruussarja, the Champions Series, where the league splits and we play the top 6 teams play each other home and away. This is the first time it's been that format. So we've got 10 more games left to play. It's quite a rough schedule of away games.
I don't think I can get to any of the away games.
No, that's right. I mean, they're all sort of weekday games, aren't they?
Or Tuesday 6 o'clock, Sunday 4 o'clock. So that's like getting back from that. Wednesday 7 o'clock, Thursday 6. I mean, it might be all right if you're in the south, you can do that. But when the nearest team for us in this league is 2 hours drive away, 2 hours. Well, you can get train is a bit quicker, but still, it's and everything else is 4 hours away. So
the thing is, though, and I looked at this, like every match day, all the teams are playing, so there's no one getting a little bit of an advantage or a disadvantage,
right,
and they've had to fit it around Sorman Cup final, international breaks, and KuPS European games on Thursdays. Like, it's really tough. I think that's why it was a bit delayed bringing the fixtures out.
Yeah.
So everyone's disappointed not to have the chance to travel.
Yeah.
And and for us not to have away games at the weekend where we might have been able to travel.
Yep.
But I don't know what else the league could have done.
But the home games are great.
Well, that's true as well. Yeah, I mean,
great timings.
So we start on Saturday the 13th at home to Hoyikor. Then we're home Saturday 27th to Inter. We're home Saturday the 4th of October to Ilves. Home on Monday the 27th of October to KuPS. And then the final game of the season, which is so late, it's going to be so cold. The 9th of November at home to Gnistan in the final game of the season. And
do KuPS have a home game then, or are they playing away? Because if it it's the 9th of November, it might be just like so much snow. What happens then?
Yeah.
When they're gonna, if it's postponed, until like March?
Actually, Jules, no, they don't. They're away to Hoyikor on the final game of the season.
Right. Okay.
And Ilves are away to Inter. So
their last home game was on the 3rd of November. So it might not be so much snow.
Yeah. Actually, they're playing on Sunday the 2nd, so they are slightly out of sync. But that's to do with their Thursday games, I suppose. So regardless of what Billy has to say about this, I'd rather be playing Gnistan on the final game than Hoyikor or Inter.
Yeah. And there's a great offer for the 5 home games.
Yeah,
the minimum price is €60, and that's going to be, so that works out like what, €12 a game. So if you haven't got a season ticket, then get one of these now, and come and enjoy some great football, and get this. Get this, and also some an SJK hat and an SJK scarf, because you're going to need them as well.
You're definitely going to need them for some of those later games. That's right. We sort of had people inquiring in the WhatsApp group already about the fixtures, and that's been shared around. And as soon as we have the link to that Sarja lippu, that series ticket, then we'll share that around as well.
Actually, in Ticketmaster.
Is it there already?
Yeah, it went today.
Okay, right, good. So I've got a small group of people that I've been trying to encourage to games, and I'm going to send them the fixtures and where they can get Sarja lippu, and that'll be great.
So shall we move on to Martim's expectations for the rest of the season?
Yeah, and then we're pretty much done.
Yep.
Yeah. So Martim, what are you hoping for from the rest of the season?
What I was expecting before this was like at least VPNs on top 6. So it's like a closer game. It's a derby. It's always an interesting game to play, instead of like 4 hours travel to Helsinki to play against Gnistan.
I would have liked that too.
In my opinion, my favorite travel is to Mariam on the boat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. So in the middle of the championship, or probably Mariam can achieve the top 6. So it's a nice travel for us. But no.
But it would have been on like a Tuesday afternoon, and at the end of October, and that's not quite as
But
nice
it's always a funny travel on the boat.
Yeah.
It's always. But what I can expect is like, the good thing is we start the first game and we finish at home.
Yeah.
So we start against Stoico. The last game we played, it was 1-0 for us. So we still got that game in our minds and in our memories. So probably it's like a really good start for us at home and against Stoico. And the last game at home is always good. And with the against Gnissen, they were the 6th place for this final round. So we played against Soiko the first game, and the last game is like the easiest team in the top 6. There's no easy teams for this.
No.
I think this will be like a free for all. Everyone can lose, everyone can win. I think not dropping points or not losing is the main thing right now. Because if it's a draw, we are not letting go one of our direct opponents to get more points. So
yeah, Gnistan have been taking points off of everybody at the top this season. They're going to cause trouble, I think.
Exactly. That's what I was saying after. Imagine the most important thing is not losing any single game. A draw is not a bad result. A victory is what we are working for. But like I said to you before, we are aiming to achieve like the European places. So we are trying to win every single game like we usually do. And of course, we want to win every single game. And if we achieve like the European places, yeah, we did a great job.
Is there any talk of winning the league?
I listened some comments, but of course it's like everyone's opinion or some supporters' opinion. But what we are really aiming for is 2 European places.
Yeah.
If we achieve, it's really good for the club. We can get an extra games for the next season. So that's what we are aiming for.
I suppose if we finish top of the league, we also get a European place, don't we?
It would be a nice way to get to Europe.
I understand what you mean, but you can start watching the other teams. They did like better job in the first round than us. You can check the squads. The teams are getting like new players, new signings. Yeah, for Oiko with Puki and the Ring, they are doing well. So if you start checking the other teams, they also have really good teams and players, and they're having good results in the past few weeks. So it's not going to be easy for anyone.
Yeah. And for us as well.
Will cause problems for us. We are causing problems for the other team. So anything can happen.
Yeah.
But what we really want is trying to get top 4 to get into the European places. That's what we are aiming for.
We're in 5th place at the moment, so it's not good enough for us to, if we were to win the league, it's good if we do as well as these other teams. But now to win the league, we would have to do better than them, and that is quite a big ask.
But we're all playing against each other and taking points off of each other as well. So that's the important thing. Like every game is a 6-pointer.
Yeah,
because you're robbing your direct opponent. So I think that will play into it as well.
Exciting times.
Yeah, and as you know, Jules, on the Finnish Football Show, we're going to put out an episode in the next week where we get a fan from each team to come on and talk about their team. So that might be something that the listener wants to look out for as well.
Yeah, and I have managed to take a video of myself, which is better than the pictures.
Yeah, the video looks all right. I haven't listened to all of these things yet, but I have sort of dipped into them. So I'm quite looking forward to putting it all together and then listening like a fan. But I think, Jules, that just about wraps it up for this episode. Martin, thank you so much for joining us. This has been really good. It's been really interesting and also fun. And
insightful.
Yeah, as well, which is more than we can ever offer.
Thank you for inviting me. It's like the first podcast I talk to, and I like to talk. In Portugal, we love to talk even to strangers. So we could spend like 1 or 2 hours here talking about Saiko and Seinäjoki City. So I really enjoyed this time with you guys, and probably I'll see you soon in the stadium.
Let's do that. See you after the game. Listener, remember to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening, and you can find the whole archive of our episodes on the YouTube program.
And you can contact the Seinäjoki Supporters Podcast by email at seinäjokifootballpod@gmail.com. You can find links to all our content on Linktree at Seinäjoki Football Pod.
Well done, Jules. And we also have that WhatsApp group we've talked about to continue the conversation in between the podcasts. It's open to any fan of ASICO. So if you want to join, go to Linktree, find the link to request. And if I think you're a genuine fan, I'll approve you and let you into the group. And Martin, this is open to family members of ASYCOR's international players or coaches. So if they want to follow the club from overseas, they're welcome as well. This kind of started because Lewis Strapp's dad was looking for some content, and we decided that maybe we could make that content. One of the academy players, his dad is in that group as well as fans from around the world and located around the world as well. So real true fans are welcome.
Add your grandmother.
And add your grandma, yeah.
Get her to post pictures of what she's cooking for you.
Yeah.
I'll send to you.
Yeah.
Good. So until the next episode, see you at the stadium or see you online, and have a good trip back to Seinäjoki, Martin, when you come back, and enjoy your holiday. So everyone else, goodbye.
Hey, Pop.
Kiitos. If you want to say in Portuguese, it's obrigado.